Hello everyone, I would like to introduce you all to the Skylanders UNM Championship Knockout, or also known as the Suck. The goal of this event is to be the greatest, biggest UNM event of all time. So, who is this guy? My name's Cyberzoo. I'm a former top 10 UNM racer. I won the Magic Element race. I'm a 3-time UNM winner. And I was half of the winning team in the DASC race. Little asterisks there, we won't talk about that now or later, but currently 7th all-time on the leaderboard as of the recording. But I think I know what I'm doing. I participate in several of the ELQ races. I've watched all of them. I know how it works. I think I know what I can do, and you can trust me to run a solid event. So what exactly is the Suck? So the Suck will be a 16-racer UNM tournament to crown the ultimate UNM runner. So the top 16 UNM runners in the world are invited to compete and qualify automatically for this event. This is of course subject to change, as not everybody will probably be available. So this race will consist of 3 total races. The first race, or first round, there will be 2 races of 8 players. The top 4 in each of these races will then move on to the next day. So the first race will include the racers seeded 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 14, 16. Second race will then consist of 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, 13, and 15. The second round will then have an 8-person race. Top 4 will continue. Third race, 4-player race. The winner will win the whole tournament. So it's not like a one and done thing. If you win and move on, then you got to play another round. And then after that, you got to play a third round. So it requires you to be consistent over multiple races. So how does the seeding work for this? So currently how I think I'm going to have it structured is the runner with the fastest time on the leaderboard is the top seed. Other seeding numbers will descend accordingly. So in the example here, you can obviously see Crystal would be number 1 as the making of this video with the top time of 1 hour 46 or whatever. Then it would be Soprano, then Scavenger, then Bob, then Ollie, etc., etc. Of course, not all the people on this leaderboard are going to be able to participate. So, say 17th, I forget who that is, they would then move up and replace whoever drops out. So the gimmick for this race would be, there is a draft, and these are like the rules. So the 16 players will be put into a fantasy football style snake draft to draft their characters for the race. Draft position will be determined by leaderboard rankings. This is of course subject to change, as whoever's first might not be first. The top player is then allowed to pick where they want to draft. So for example, if I am number 1 at the time, but I don't want to have the first pick, I can choose to say draft last, 16, and then have the quote wraparound. There'll be 96 total character options to choose, as each character will be allowed to be chosen twice, once on each path. However, a single player cannot draft both versions of a character, like Camo Watermelon path, Camo Vines path. One person cannot have 2 camos. Trading will be allowed, but all trades of course need to be approved by the organizer, me. So to kind of give a visual representation of how the draft would work, you have player 1, they pick whoever they want the first pick. Then you have player 2, then 3, then 4, and then once you get to the end, so 4, or in our case it will be 16, they'll pick twice in a row, and then it'll go back in order. Then first will then have the last pick in the second round, but then the first pick in the third round. So some additional rules for how this race will be run is you are allowed to make trades before and after the draft, not during. This is so that I plan to stream the draft, and if I'm having to look at trades going through while I'm also helping people make their drafts, it'll be super complicated. It'll overcomplicate things. But if you're allowed to like trade your picks, so say you have the first pick, you can trade down to like the second pick and then move up in another round. Trades, however, must be of equal value. You cannot trade 2 Skylanders for 1, or you cannot trade 2 draft picks for 1. Everybody at the end of the day needs to have 3 Skylanders or 3 draft picks. Again, all trades will be approved by me. Twitch streams will be the preferred way of recording and sending this event for everybody. if for streaming your point of view. YouTube will of course be alright, but Twitch is preferred. It's just the easiest way to set stuff up on OBS. Important rule here then next is HD is banned. Only Dolphin Wii console is allowed. This is defined the best player. The best player doesn't play the game on easy mode or HD. I'd like to shout out Paul Likes Games, as he is too good, and this is to essentially nerf him because he's just too good. The draft will hopefully be held a week before the event, so I will explain when the event will be held, but the draft will hopefully be August 15th at 12 p.m. EST, and then I think those are probably the most common other times that people are. I think that's of course subject to change for accommodation. If one of those times doesn't work, it's a draft, we can move that very easily. The main important rule of this race, for kind of like rules point, is the use it, you lose it rule. So a player, of course, after drafting, will have a roster of 3 Skylanders. Only one Skylander can be used per race. So once a Skylander is used in a race, it cannot be used in additional races. So say you use Camo Race 1, then you use Spyro Race 2, then you have Sunburn for Race 3 if you make it that far. You cannot use Sunburn for all 3 races if you drafted him. So this is to create a little bit more strategy and competitiveness. So the best player, theoretically, will be good on multiple characters. You might say like, well, if they have the first pick, then they're gonna get like all the best characters. That's why it's a snake draft. They'll get the best character, then 16 other characters will get chosen. Actually, no, I think it's closer to 30 other characters will get chose before they can pick their second character. So it kind of balances itself out there. So then the strategy is, do you use your best character early on to guarantee you move on, or you try and save them to the end to try and win the whole thing? So that it's supposed to theoretically balance itself out. I'm open to criticism and questions. You'll be able to message me later. So when is this event supposed to happen? When do I want it to happen? I'm hoping to have this take place late August, so the weekend of the 22nd and the 23rd. It'll be a 2-day event, of course. Saturday we'll have the 2 first round races, with race 1 hopefully being held around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and race 2 being held around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm hoping to have like a break in between the 2 races, depending on how long they go, because I'm guessing the first race will probably go, if we start exactly at 10, which probably won't happen, I'm guessing it'll probably go 3 hours, depending on who's running what. It shouldn't go 3 hours, but that'll take us to 1 hour and break or whatever. Next race hopefully can start at 2. I believe, again, those are the proper times to kind of visualize it for everybody else on different time zones. You can do your own math. Sunday will then consist of the semis and the finals. So Saturday is a lot more lenient. I'll be able to swap you around. So like the draft, there's the race order where like first plays whoever to try to balance it out. I can change that very easily for Saturday, so that say you're on the west coast in America, you don't want to race 7 in the morning. Like say you're ranked whatever and you're being the first race, I can very easily swap you with somebody, say, in Eastern Europe, who would want to race earlier in the day. So like they're 5 instead of 9 or whatever. And then you would be then racing at like 11. I don't know. It's very easy. Problem is then we get this Sunday where you have the semis and finals, which should be held around the same time as Saturday, but it's a little trickier to get stuff to fit in to have both races on the weekend. If you sign up, we can try and figure it out, but that's hopefully the idea. That's kind of to give a time frame for when everything will happen. So how can you sign up? So the top 16 UNM racers players, they're automatically invited. You get in. If you're on the leaderboard top 16, you're in. If somebody's not able to participate, however, then the invite will fall to the next person on the leaderboard or who signs up. So, for example, I'm not participating, I'm ranked 11th. So the next participating person invited would be ranked 17. there's a Google form being posted. It'll be attached to this YouTube video as well as sent to the official UNM Discord and all around so that you can sign up or whatever. And it should work. I think I've fixed the bugs to make sure that would be clean. So another question you might have would then be, what if I'm not ranked? Can you still race? No, but yes. So if you don't have a time, you can't participate. However, if you submit a time, like just beat the game, say it's a 3.5 hour run, and you sign up with it, if somebody else higher up with the faster time doesn't sign up, then you're in. It's this giant race. There's 16 players. I'm pretty sure around half of the top 16 won't be able to participate anyways. So if you don't have a good time, still upload it, still submit it, because we need players at the end of the day. It's supposed to be a fun event. We just are trying to find the quote best player, and you're gonna have a ton of time. The registration will probably close around August 8th, August 9th, that weekend. So you have until then to get up onto the leaderboard or get a time to submit. You can play any character you want. If you want to play Whirlwind to just get an easy sub 2 hour run doing some simple skips or like Stump Smash or whatever, that's fine. I don't care. We want to boost the leaderboards, get it more attraction, more attention. And then you have that time, boom, you're in. It's that easy. So any additional questions you might have, please feel free to reach out to me on Discord. I'm in the UNM server. I'm starting to be more active. I'm also in like Boombringer server, and I'll probably join maybe a couple others. But you'll be able to find me. I'm pretty easy to spot. So yeah, this should be fun. Thank you.